The Mishnah Brura in Samech, the beginning of Hilchos Tzitzis, he writes that there are those who have a custom to have an atara, to have a certain piece sewn on their talus, in order to know which is the top of the talus, which is in the bottom, so that every time you put the same side of your talus on, there's a certain cloth. You can look at every talus, I think almost every single one that I've seen has it, that's there. Some people put silver, some people have embroidered, but there's, even on the basic one that's sitting right there in front of me, there's a white cloth that's sewed onto the top to know that this is the top of the talus. The Mishnah Brura brings down that the Arizal held that there was no such reason to do so and wasn't accustomed to happen. It didn't matter. Today you put this one on the top, the next day you put the bottom on the top. It doesn't make a difference. That's the Arizal held. The Elya Rabbah in Samech Mem Beis brings a proof to this Arizal. Is it really true that we don't care which side is up, which side is down? And he brings a proof from yesterday's Parsha, Parshas Vayetze. Chazal tell us that before Yaakov lied down and had his dream, there were a bunch of stones, a lot of independent stones, and each stone were fighting. I want the tzaddik to rest his head on me. I want it on me. I want it on me. Like the Mesilas Yesharim writes, both in the beginning of Mesilas Yesharim and then again at the very end in Perek Chavav, that for something in this world to be used, to be mishamesh, to help out a tzaddik, to serve Hashem, is the greatest elevation that anything in the mundane physical world could obtain. So all these stones wanted to be where this tzaddik could rest his head. Hashem made a nace, and all of them came together into one stone. So it says the Elya Rabbah, but I don't get it. At the end of the day, when Yaakov Avinu laid his head on the stone, he only laid it on one part of the stone. So if the left part is what he laid it on, so the right part still wasn't able to go ahead and be mishamesh the tzaddik. So what did it help that they all became one stone? And he said, you see from here that at the end of the day, when something is one, when you're physically one unit, so if one part helps the tzaddik, then all the parts help the tzaddik. And the same thing is by the talus. It's one physical talus. So if one went on the top of the head, really the bottom is also helping to go on top of the head. It's all one. You don't split on one object between two different parts. This is the same thing when we speak about unity. We speak about achdus, a very talked about topic these days. We try to become one. So what does that mean? So it means we work together. We're all separate. We're all different. But we try to get along. Everyone's getting along these days. Political views are not being spoken about much. We're just moving forward, all one, all mission, all one goal. But it's much more than that. If we're actually one, we become like one rock, and we're physically one unit, we're echad, we're one, so then your simcha is my simcha, your difficulty is my difficulty. It's not that, we're one, and chaval that person is going through what he's going through. Thank God it didn't happen to me. No, it's me. We're one. Just like the bottom of the talus is the same thing as the top of the talus, and the right side of the rock is the same thing as the left side of the rock. It's all the same thing. Your eye, only his hair went onto the left side of the rock, and the right side of the rock didn't get the oil from the hair. Doesn't matter. It's all one unit. It's all the same thing, and it's as if he was lying on the right side of the rock as well. And something we have to appreciate. We shouldn't just try to think that it's about getting along and I always get along with people, so this whole thing doesn't apply to me anyway. No, it's not. We're actually one, and we can always strive to feel more and more and more the pain and the successes of others. If we ever feel a little ounce of jealousy, that means we don't have achdus, because that means that we're not one. Otherwise, why would I be jealous for? If I'm a little bit nervous that what are they going to say about me if I do this or that? No, we're one. We're one unit. It's all dependent on everyone else, and everyone else is dependent on me. The Gemara says, the Mishnah says, in the Maseches Tainis, and Daf Chavav, Lo hayu yomim tovim Yisrael k'tu b'Av. The 15th of Av, there were never a day like the 15th of Av. So the Abdurav, the Oev Yisrael, what better say to look at for Achdas. He finds a beautiful remez. It's not the Pshat in the Mishnah, but he says a remez that we see in this Gemara, in this Mishnah. The Gemara says in Tainis and Daf Lamed Aleph, Asad HaKadosh Baruch Hu Lasos B'chol LaTzadikim. In the future, there's going to be a circle of the tzaddikim. V'hu Yoshev B'nei B'gan Eden. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he's in the center. V'kol echad b'echad bar betzbo. Everyone points. Shenemar v'amar baruch hu hinei l'keinu zeh kivinu lo Yoshienu. Zeh Hashem kivinu lo negila b'smecha b'shua. So all the tzaddikim are all around in a circle, all pointing into the middle. This is Hashem. This is what we all strive for and want to connect to. So he asks, well, what's this machol? What's this idea of a circle? So he says, as opposed to a triangle and a square or any other shape, a circle, at every point on the circle, is equidistant from the center. And what the Mishnah is telling us, the Gemara is telling us, is that La'asad Lavo, we have a lot of different types of people, a lot of different types of tzaddikim that have different drachim. They have different ways in their way of serving Hashem. But they're all going to be together on this circle, equidistant from the center, from Hashem. But the main common denominator is that they're all focused towards Hashem. Everything that they did was to get closer to Hashem and to bring Hashem's presence greater in this world. But I do it this way and you do it that way. But at the end of the day, we're equidistant from the center. If that was our goal, that was our kavanah, that was the intention, and that was our vision, and that's what we were always striving for. And that's what it's going to be at the end of the day. And he points out that the 15th letter of the Aleph is the Samech, is the round circle. And he says that's a remez over here in this Mishnah. That La'asad Lavo, the greatest Yom Tovim was in the 15th, because the greatest Yontiv is when you have the Samech, when you have the 15th letter of the Aleph very, very present, where everyone feels that we're on the same circle, on the same line, we're all equidistant to Hashem. Yes, I maybe have my way and you have your way, but at the end of the day, we genuinely are striving towards closeness to Hashem and trying to do what Hashem wants from us. So then it's all equidistant. There's no greater yontiv from there. The Bnei Yissaschar adds to this idea. The Gemara tells us in the Masechtas Brachos that Rabbi Yochanan says, we know if you look at Ashrei, all of the letters in the Aleph Beis start off, right? So Mashiach, the Aleph goes straight through every single letter. There's no Nun. There's no Nun. And the Gemara tells us the reason is because the letter Nun represents the Nefila, the falling of the Jewish people. So we don't want to hint that in the Ashrei. But the Gemara says, it came back in the next letter, the Samech. The pasuk says, "Samech Hashem l'chol hanoflim." That's what we say in Ashrei, right? We bring in the idea of the nefila, so it was in there, just a little bit hidden, that Hashem is Samech Hashem l'chol hanoflim. Hashem is Samech, He supports and He holds up those who fell. So he explains that that's really what the word nes, a miracle, is all about. The word nes is a nun and a samech. That there's a nun, there's a falling, there's a difficulty that the Jewish people are experiencing. We're down and out, we're not doing well. And then Hashem performs a miracle. He brings in the Samech to support us and to bring us above that miracle, to bring us above, to bring us beyond. The letter Nun, if you look at the letter Nun, is really a half a Samech. Right? If you take two Nuns, an upside down Nun and a right side Nun, you get a Samech. Right? The Nun is the half a Samech. The idea that the Nun represents us falling is when the Jewish people are not whole. When we're in different fragments or different pieces, when we're not together. We don't have that achdus, then all of a sudden we go into the galus, we get hurt and we fall. But when we have the Samech, when we have that round circle, that we all feel we're part of the same mission, we feel like we're all part of the same team. We're one. We're literally one circle going around, not pieces, not lines, one circle, all together with this common goal of getting close to Hashem. So then that allows for the smicha, that allows for Hashem to go ahead and be able to support all of us. This is a time that we're not just enjoying the achdus of the Jewish people, but that should go ahead and empower us and charge us to make it more echad. It's not something we have now, we hope it stays. It's something that takes forever to work on. That literally we feel the pain and rejoice in other people's successes. It's very hard. Our physical selves that seem to make us feel separate from one another always kicks in. We have emotions, we have feelings, we have our difficulties with others. We can't have it at all. We have to work to try to make that circle whole, to make that Samech, and the Esses Hashem will all merit to have the Somech Hashem B'chol HaNoflim, that all of those who have fallen, or all of those that are having difficulties, or all of us that go through our challenges in life, will all be able to rejoice and point to Hashem and be able to experience the nace that is always waiting for us in our everyday life. Shavua Tov.